Yeah, y'all know all the X's and O's, man. I'm just sitting at home watching. I don't like to get into that because I don't believe the game is really decided on the field. So
Hey everyone, guess who's back? It's Kamish back here with another draft preview. This time we got another original owner. I'm going to call him original. He actually joined, I believe, in year 2, but I think you're an original owner, Danny. Hailing from Ontario here as we continue to preview the Maple Leaf division with Billsy Bobs. I'm just going to share my screen now and we'll get into your preview here, Danny. Again, very excited to have you as part of the league. And when we look at Danny, he's made some strides here in the LOC now, the Wffl. So first off, let's get into the keepers. You're keeping one quarterback, 3 running backs, 1 wide receiver, 1 linebacker. There's no doubt about it. Running backs are a premium. The league's changing a little bit, though, into a lot more timeshares. And, when I look at your running backs, well, there's no doubt about it. Austin Eckler, I think, is primed to have a big year. The guy is playing for a contract, wherever that may be. There's some level of risk involved there, but you got to wonder if the Chargers will just run the wheels off him too, knowing that he won't be back next year. So that's the interesting thing. Alvin Kamara, though, there's question marks there with maybe looming suspension. He's got himself into some legal troubles. Dante Foreman has some competition, right? He's got Khalil Herbert. He's got Roshan Johnson in that Chicago Bears room. So when we talk about timeshares, you got to think Foreman's not primary back there, but not saying that he's not a good, decent player. And then, of course, you traded me for Josh Allen last year, your favorite team. You got your quarterback. I didn't blame you for making the trade. Josh Allen's a premier quarterback. And then Jamar Chase, I believe, was one of your draft picks a few years back. And that was a hell of a great draft pick on your part, as he's one of the best wide receivers there is. Concerns at IDP, I feel, Shaquille Leonard. I can't even remember the last time this guy was on the field. So he's changed his name, I think, since the last time he was on the field. So that could be a concern for you. You'll want to track his injury progress throughout the offseason if you don't see any positives. And I don't know where he's at, I'll be honest. But again, I would be concerned about the injuries. And usually you can get IDPs at this point for pretty cheap if you have to. Looking at your draft pick scenario, so you do have a pick in round 1. You pick at number 15. So not the ideal list of picks, but that's what happens when you finish 6th overall. I mean, what the best year in your history was last year, and the last year the LOC will be named the LOC. So I'm really happy that you're trending in that right direction. And now that we'll start tracking Wffl stats, you have an opportunity to really wipe away that stain and that bad record you had career-wise with the LOC. I think you've done the right thing here. You have 10 in the first 10, and most of them are front-loaded, right? You got 2 in round 4, you got 2 in round 6. Yeah, sure, you don't have the 8 and the 9, but a round 4 and a round 6 is going to be better than an 8 and a 9. So I like your draft pick scenario here. Even after you traded me for Josh Allen, you made some other moves. You got 9 picks there in the mid rounds and then 10 in the last 21 to 29 with 2 in round 28. You don't have a round 19, which I don't think is that big of a deal. You do have, again, I think a pretty decent pick outlook here for you to have success once again. And when we look at your outlook, that's what I feel for you, Danny, is, you want to build off that playoff appearance from last year. There's no doubt about that. I was really happy to see you make the playoffs, for the first time in your history. Again, we touched on the questions with Kamara and Foreman. So, again, that's going to be off-season news. You're going to be wanting to track where's Kamara's league of troubles, where's Foreman at in the pecking order. Again, I think you have a decent pick situation. So I don't think, you're a survival team by any means. And like I say here, I think you can be a playoff team again, as long as you have a good draft. So just to finalize here, Danny, I just want to say it's an absolute pleasure having you in the league. Really appreciate you having my back at times, asking me if I'm okay during challenging times, et cetera, et cetera. It just means a lot. It says a lot about you. And I really appreciate you having here. Good luck this year.